Hey everybody, it's Mike Young with aPlantBasedDiet.org, and I'm very excited today to talk with Tiffany Garres of the Texas Fruit Festival in Austin, Texas. Welcome, Tiffany.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm honored.
Yeah, well, me too. I've been to some fruit festivals myself in the past, but we want to do this video so that we can kind of showcase what you're doing because the Texas Fruit Festival in Austin is going to be what, like 3 weeks, something like that?
Yes, 3 weeks away, September 10th, all day. And we have a few meetups on Friday evening for people coming in from out of town or even local people. And Sunday morning, like if people are coming in from out of town over the weekend, they want to hang out with the community and see some attractions. So we've got a whole lineup. But the festival day itself, where you
Yeah.
have to buy tickets, is Saturday, September 10th.
Is there like a website people can go to find out about that?
Yes, it's www.texasfruitfestival.com.
Okay.
And you can see all of your different level ticket options and anything else you're interested in.
All right, wonderful. Well, let's get to kind of backpedal a little bit here because there's a lot of people who may be watching this that don't know what a fruit festival is or what the purpose of that is and like what you guys are doing in Texas and like why would they want to go to Texas to hear about this. So, can you give us some like basic stuff about what this is? Because I know what it is because I've been to them, but a lot of people don't.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I've never been to a fruit festival other than the one I've created. So, but as
Yeah.
far as, the just through the theme of fruit and celebrating fruit, it's really important because we are frugivores. Our natural species specific diet is fruit and sweet leafy greens, a low fat fruit diet. And this is really important because there's so many, different experts about fruit and food and nutrition and the right diets and even diet for weight loss and these kinds of things that have begun to distract from the
Yeah.
true message that when we live our species specific diet, which is fruit, living foods, sweet leafy greens, maybe some seeds and nuts, then we can eat as much as we want. It never harms us. It doesn't shorten our life. It doesn't give us cardiovascular disease and other illnesses, if inflammation, everything, all disease starts in the gut. And so these foods are healing to the gut, they're healing to our entire body, they're healing to our lymphatic system interstitially. And it's important to celebrate this message. Now we can sit down and have a different tone and say, hey, this is important, and take a very serious educational tone. But the truth is, fruit is delicious.
Yeah.
We eat the rainbow. It's gorgeous. It makes us vibrant and
I got it all
radiant.
behind me. You can see it, right?
Yes, it's beautiful. It's attractive. It's provocative. It's sultry. It's just there's so many adjectives for fruit because it's so sweet and amazing and it's just so attractive. And so yes, the
Well,
celebration of fruit is so important.
all the things that you said, I want to ask a question because
Yeah.
I agree with what you just said. And I'm also concerned with some people out there that may not have ever had good quality fruit. So maybe they don't even know what you're talking about because just because they bought some fruit at the grocery store doesn't mean they're going to experience what you're talking about, right?
Well, that's true. I mean, there's so much information about fruit on so many levels, which ends up being, if you take the message to heart, ends up being a raw vegan diet, a living
Yes.
food diet, that we can't even cover it all in one festival.
Yeah.
And
So there's
so
a lot to learn. That's it. So
there
that's
is a
why
lot to learn.
one of the reasons why you're there doing this is because you want to get people who are ready to learn more to give them a whole bunch of information because I know there's a ton of information out there too. I mean, I know
Yes.
like a lot of the there's so many different levels to this, but basically you're I also hear you saying is that you are most concerned about human health and optimizing health, and that's kind of the purpose of this event, right? Is to shine a spotlight on that so that they're getting the right message and the correct information. Is that right?
That's the primary focus, but it's also about the vegan message, about compassion, about ascension, a spiritual message. It's also about going back to the earth. It's also about cleansing our reality, our life, our bodies from chemicals. Understanding, putting emphasis on natural, chemical-free lifestyle.
Yes.
Planting fruit trees,
Yes.
investing back in putting fruit trees in yards. That's part of the mission of Texas Fruit Festival with the the earnings, with the profit of the festival, is going back, and we have a mission to plant fruit trees at schools and
Nice.
neighborhoods, underprivileged neighborhoods. So children are connected back to where our food really goes, and the fruit is the highest frequency food available, and
Yeah.
it's the most it's energy that is directly accessible without utilizing any energy to our body, to our cells. And so all you do is you reach up and you grab the fruit and you eat it, and it's delicious, and it doesn't harm the plant, it doesn't harm us, it harms none, and it helps. It actually is beneficial because we're meant to be distributing those seeds and have, a permaculture type farming practices, slow farming, food forestry. And so these are just messages that are all interwoven in Texas Fruit Festival, but we're taking it a
Nice.
step at a time because we're still in our infancy and,
Yes.
spreading the message to Central Texas and surrounding lands.
Okay. And you are also wanting and encouraging folks to who may not be in Texas to attend this event too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Most of the speakers that I have this year are from out of state. Some are coming from Canada, New York, Florida, California. Let's see. So many different states, Louisiana, and we have some local people also. So yes, it's actually very affordable, especially from Florida, from different states on Southwest Airlines to buy tickets. There's low as $60 one way, and so I think it's really important to try to build this community and to invest. There's Austin's an amazing, beautiful destination, and there's so much here. And Austin's really the jewel of Texas. We have natural springs, we have underground water, we have aquifers, we have grottos, we have beautiful hiking and biking trails, and the hill country in the west is amazing. The city itself is really progressive and it's beautiful, and it's just a wonderful place to come visit. And there's a lot of fun. Our culture here is very unique and specific. We do a lot of ecstatic dances. There's a lot of alternative type practices and medicines and kind of holistic practitioners also. And so it's a really great place to come and connect with the community and to even set up training of various sorts, sound frequency healing. There's a lot of that going on here.
Yeah, well, you mentioned so many things right here. I want to also let you know my appreciation for all the work that you're doing, because it is hard work, but it is highly beneficial. I can't think of anything that's more beneficial to not only people that are going to be impacted positively by this event, but future generations. And I would also like to know, kind of in relation to that, what are your thoughts? Like, why do you think we're in this point in time where the things that you describe as healing aren't really adopted by the most of society, right? Because this is a much smaller movement in its infancy. Why do you think that is, and what do you think the future of it's going to be? Well, how do you think that's going to go?
It's a really interesting question. Last year, the theme for Texas Fruit Festival was body, consciousness, and earth. And I tried to address the spirituality aspect. I personally believe humanity is resolving karma. We are ascending to a new place of self-love, self-healing, and personal empowerment. And through this, we're not depending on others to consume foods and to heal. We don't leak our empowerment outward. We contain it within ourselves, and we learn plant medicine, plants. We learn, the food is our medicine. We learn how to be self-reliant, self-sufficient, and also understand that there's a spiritual aspect to that. When we expand our mind and our heart, we begin to equip ourselves with wisdom and spiritual divine knowledge, which leads us back to earth, because this is, we are from the earth, we are of the earth, and we are here in a co-creation, a mutual agreement with earth and all of humanity to project this reality into existence as we go forth on our soul mission, a personal growth. And so I believe it's part of our natural story. But where we are being confronted now is to make the decision. We've heard the message is getting louder, it's getting out there. And either we will accept this mission or we will reject it. And the mission really is personal growth, the resolution of karma, and ascension, which means we're happier, we're healthier, and we're more fulfilled. When we're happier, we're naturally ascended because we think heaven on earth. We can create heaven on earth. And that's really the goal for Texas Fruit Festival, is to plant fruit trees, have food abundance. There should be no food deserts. There should be food everywhere.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you for the explaining it in that manner. I agree. I'm on board, and I wish that we were more advanced in this area as a society right now, because I still feel like what you're doing has an amazing purpose and is going to positively impact people no matter what. Because most of the people that I see out there, they view kind of this lifestyle that you've described as more of a sacrifice, which I know it's not. I feel like if someone's not in this lifestyle, they're actually in like almost like a vicious cycle of pain in so many ways, right? And suffering, and you know, even just from a personal level with your own personal health. So this is why, to me, this event's so important, and I look forward to the day when you know this is accepted by almost all of society, because everybody's going to have a much funner time, a much better time, right? A much better
Yes.
experience at life.
Yeah, I've put a lot of thought into this. Well, firstly, as far as the science goes, as far as the suffering or the sacrifice, there is science, and for me, it's all about the heart. When we ascend our heart, when we open our heart to self-love, and we can do that through the portal of our crown chakra, of our expanded mind, and we can do that through others sharing that lifestyle. So it's a unity consciousness. But the truth is that a baby is naturally happy, is a naturally ascended, innocent, trusting, loving being, but it's taken
Yeah,
on certain karma to incarnate into this earth-based reality. And so from spirit, so as this is just my understanding, my take on it, how I've come to understand reality and my role as a human, and why it's important to heal the body, because the body holds the information. It holds in the form of energy, thought forms, chemicals, whatever. It's all energy. Everything is energy.
yes,
Nothing is not energy.
yes,
And so the fact that we solidify things into matter, like tumors or chemical, toxicity, or that's just different variations of energy. And those are belief systems. And these are patterns and habits and cycles that we have entered into that has become our karma. But as we go back and we start to say, let me focus on this body needs to heal. I can detoxify. Here comes the science that, we have an internal pH. And so once we are equipped with the knowledge, and this is where Texas Fruit Festival helps, because we're celebrating, we're having so much
yeah,
fun, but we're also putting
yeah,
in some knowledge, because it's like, hey, there is a science. When we eat foods that are internally acidifying, which are all animal products and cooked dead foods, any foods that are cooked, of course, it's all relative.
hmm,
Some foods like meat and animal products are the absolute worst for our body, but
right,
look at what it also does to the animals. Look at what it does to our compassion. Look what it does to the planet. Look, just there's so many other effects. You can
yeah,
see the karmic cycle through these choices. And then when we eat foods that are alkaline to our interstitial pH, then we can be more abundant. We see how it's more of a plant-based, where it's fruit-based, raw living foods that are the most alkalizing foods, the most biophotons we can possibly consume are fruits. So they're more activating, they're more energy, they're more our light body becomes activated. And so we start to see that it's not our reality to just stay in this third density, reality, this dense existence, that we are meant to grow and to ascend. And we have so much more going on within us. We are light beings. But when we have all these layers of beliefs, self-limiting beliefs and patterns and programming and marketing, and we have been influenced by sales, and advertisements, then it begins to put on denser beliefs, like, well, I'm not going to be healthy. Fear a lot. It's always
yeah,
love or fear based. I'm going to
yeah,
be deficient. I'm not going to have protein. Well, there's protein in all plants, all fruits. I'm not going to have enough. So just seeing really the most power. I had a blog, I have a book, I had podcast, and I started realizing that, wait a second, I can't just be talking about this all the time. I have to do something. And so this
right,
is where Texas Fruit Festival is born, because
yes,
people are really going to change and understand what true evolution and transformation is when they can experience the high frequency happy, healthy, radiant beings that are living this lifestyle.
Yes,
That's powerful.
so that's one of the bigger things that's going on at Texas Fruit Festival, right? There's a schedule of in-person live presenters that you can talk to, right? And they're
Yes.
going to transmit all this information that you probably are either not aware of, or a lot of it you're not aware of, because it's always a constant learning process, I find. So like what types
Yes.
of subjects, what types of specific things are going to be discussed here to kind of give people a preview of what's going to be at the event?
Yes, well, I have several speakers, like 13 speakers. They're raw vegans, they are fruitarian lifestylers, fruitarian endurance athletes. I've
Nice.
got people who've healed through fruit. So got stories of detoxification, juicing experts. I mean, raw vegan people who've been raw vegan for many, many years, and that's new to me relatively. Also, I was a cooked
Yes.
vegan until early last year. And so to see these people and they're ahead of me and they've done it for 5, 10, 15 years, it's really astonishing. And, I knew of some people having on YouTube, influencers, but to really
Mhm.
meet these people in person and to start seeing, oh, we can live this lifestyle, we can create bonds, we can hear their story. We can ask them questions, we can eat fruitarian, raw vegan food together. We can,
Nice.
and just the experience of eating fruit together as a meal. This is why I lead Fruit Lux in Austin weekly right now, usually monthly through the winter. And so we just get together and we eat fruit and we smell the fruit. The fruit is very activating on all levels. And, when we are eating cooked dead foods, it starts to deteriorate our cells, deteriorate
Yeah.
our senses. So we
Yep.
can't really enjoy or, taste the beauty of the fruit. It's actually very difficult to consume. It can cause gas, it can cause different things. And
Right.
people just, if they're eating, say, animal products or heavy, vegan foods even, it can be difficult because we have a lot of things going on. And once we've had an acidic diet, which most everybody has, like
Mhm.
maybe 0.01% of humanity had their, parents were fruitarian. Very, very, very few, rare.
Correct.
Okay, so everybody pretty much is a culture. We're a medium for bacteria, for parasites, for, worms. We've got it all. And I
Right.
did 100-day fruit juice fast last year. And I was able to get on a parasite cleanse and I was able to, cleanse and purify. And yes, stuff comes out. And
Yeah.
this is what we want. We don't
Yep.
want people having an unhealthy gut. We don't want people harboring these parasites that are throwing off their understanding of what their body craves, what their body desires, what their
Yep.
body needs. Once we can trust our body when we've gone through a healing process, but when we have all of these beliefs and all of these, parasites and different, when we've gone through this, we just can't trust ourselves, I think, until we've actually looked within. But we can get serious sometimes at Texas Fruit Festival, but mostly we're celebrating fruit and we're trusting that the high frequency message of fruit speaks for itself and
Yeah. Well,
that it,
you're doing a great job of that. All the things that you mentioned, I know some people watching this video might think, "Oh, what is all this? Like, I don't understand." Well, this is kind of a highlight as to why you want to go to this event, because
yeah,
if you've never heard of a fruit festival, there's a good reason. There aren't that many fruit festivals. So
that's
there's
it.
not that many opportunities to go. And I think that anybody who is kind of connecting with what you're saying, even just a small aspect or two, they're going to want to learn more. So you're going to want to show up. And like
Yeah,
you said, you do Fruit Lux, but maybe somebody who is watching this video who's not in Austin, they can get an inexpensive flight to go out there. You're going to meet all these like-minded people. You're going to be in an
yes.
environment that you probably can't get just in your local area right now, at least. And you need to kind of create ambassadors, I suppose, for this lifestyle, right? And this is an amazing way to do that.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, I my life has changed since I have switched to a living foods diet. And, my friends and the people who have just stepped forth and they've just helped me when I've been detoxing, they've helped me come forth and with Texas Fruit Festival. And now they're coming and they're flying to speak at Texas Fruit Festival. And, this community is unlike any other community I've ever experienced. And, I am so grateful. This is a very strong community of people who have looked within. These are warriors. These are spiritual
Yes.
warriors, people who are self-healers, people who are not faint of heart, people who have done, long-term juice fasts. They have, done herbal remedies and protocols. They've looked at themselves and they've changed what they believe, and they have let go. They've unlearned. It takes
Yes.
incredible bravery to
Yes.
realize you have to unlearn everything you thought you knew,
Yeah.
because the ego can be so strong. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so these are some of the most humble, loving, faithful people, faithful in their body and their in source consciousness and God, because there is a spiritual aspect to this. Why, when we are striving to be happier, more fulfilled, or better, it doesn't mean you have to be any religion. That is a spiritual quality. And so this is part, these people are just, I trust them all. I love them
Yes.
all. And this
Yeah.
is really, come join us and be a part of our community. I want all people to hear this message and just try it out if you've never even heard of it. I grew up in this area in Central Texas, never even heard of it. Never heard
That's
of fruitarianism, living foods diet.
well. That's yeah. It's wonderful. The way you describe it is very accurate. I can attest to that because people in this movement are just they're the way. They're almost like the way that humans should be. I think because just shifting that paradigm, because you mentioned earlier here in this the little talk that you just gave, is that here's how I view it. Most people tend to view the human body as like a machine, like a car, like where when something breaks, you need to take it to a mechanic to get it fixed or put a new part on or something. But in reality, the human body will heal itself when you give it the right conditions. It's just that
Mm.
most people either have never been told that or don't understand how that is possible or some kind of combination of that. And you guys are playing a very important role because you are connecting the truth with with people that need to hear it. And so I'm very thankful for that.
Oh, yes. I had someone call me today that was just like wanting to understand more about what it means to heal. I just think that a lot of people have gotten fatigued with all of this dietary, nutrition information, because it has, from the Atkins diet that 20 years ago, people
Yeah.
were trying to lose weight. It just gets to the point where, when you're on your species specific diet, when you're eating living foods, it makes sense. It's common sense, but there's also phobias of fruit, too much sugar and different things. So we're there to educate, but you'll naturally lose weight. You naturally heal. You don't even have to do anything but eat the right foods. You don't, as long as we're not harming ourselves and putting foods that are toxic.
That's right. Well, thank you so much for your enthusiasm too. I think anybody who is new to this is listening to you and like, wow, I want to hear more about this. And there's so much more to know. That's why you got the event. So I hope
That's
that
right.
anybody who's watching this is going to consider going to the Texas Fruit Festival. It's only once a year. It's only one day, once a year. So this is your opportunity to kind of get that immersion, right? That retreat like experience.
That's
And
it.
so very thankful that you're offering that. So why don't you kind of again let people know how they can find out more about the Texas Fruit Festival, where they can buy tickets, let them know, and we'll kind of wrap it up.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so definitely buy tickets early. The festival is happening in 3 weeks. There is no time to spare. Call me at my number, 512-797-6755. You can text
Talk
me.
to
You
Tiffany.
can email me. It's online. It's on the internet. You can email me at tiffanygarres@gmail.com. You also look on my website, texasfruitfestival.com. The website, you can buy all the tickets that you need there. There's also some services, you can contact me, and we'll go from there. But yeah, act promptly, buy tickets soon, and I'll email you back when I see some ticket purchases and say thank you.
Yeah, all right. Well, we know it's going to be a successful event. It's going to be a lot of fun, like you said. It's living life to the fullest as far as I'm concerned. And I'm again very thankful that you all are out there and showcasing the lifestyle because it is so needed in today's world. And I know I envision a world too where everybody is doing this in the future. But
Yes.
between now and then, it's going to take a lot of work to get to that. And so grateful that you all are doing this work And it's not really work though. When you love what you do, it's not really work. So
Well, it's the most important thing you can possibly do. I think that's where, it's called work, because when
yeah.
you begin to heal your body, your whole experience changes. You have a new lease on life. And this is where it's soul work. This is your soul mission. So, yeah, I just want to leave it at that.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for the interview and the information. And I look forward to hearing about how great this event was in like a month's time.
Sounds great. Definitely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.